Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're traveling far back in time, to ancient Rome, where people didn't sit at the dinner table, they lay down to eat. Imagine warm oil lamps flickering against marble walls, soft music in the air, and the gentle clink of bronze cups as time itself seemed to slow. This isn't a story of war or conquest, it's a story of rest, ritual, and the art of doing nothing beautifully. So, lie back, relax, and let this dreamy world unfold around you. If you enjoy drifting through history at this calm pace, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. It helps this sleepy little channel grow, and brings you more peaceful tales from the past. Crescent Moon. The sun had just begun its slow descent behind the terracotta rooftops, casting long amber shadows across the streets of Rome. Dust from the road swirled lazily in the fading light, settling on the edges of fountains and the smooth stone steps of the villas. Inside one such house, the air was heavy with warmth and the faint scent of olive oil. Windows were open to the evening breeze, letting in the soft rustle of leaves and the distant chatter of the city winding down. In the triclinium, the main dining room, couches were arranged in a gentle U-shape, their cushions plumped and inviting. They called for rest, a place to lean, to stretch, to settle into the evening without hurry. The walls, painted with soft ochres and muted blues, reflected the glow of oil lamps that had just been lit, their flickering flames casting dancing shadows across frescoes and wooden panels. Servants moved quietly, their bare feet making no sound on the polished floors. A tray of figs, plump and glistening, was placed carefully on the low table in the center. Olives, black and green, filled shallow bowls alongside wedges of cheese and slices of fresh bread. The clink of bronze cups and plates was soft, almost melodic, punctuating the gentle hum of conversation that began to fill the room. As the first diners reclined on the couches, they adjusted their cushions, leaning on their left side as tradition dictated. Arms rested lightly on the soft fabric, hands brushing over the wood of the tables. Each motion was deliberate and calm, a quiet ritual of ease and preparation. The reclining itself was a statement, a gentle surrender to comfort, and an invitation to the slow, careful enjoyment of every taste, scent, and glance. Through the open windows, the evening air brought hints of the garden beyond, where figs and pomegranates rustled under the touch of a gentle wind. Somewhere nearby, a fountain murmured, water spilling over stone edges, its rhythm steady and reassuring. The city beyond might have been bustling, but here, in this room, time seemed to stretch and bend. It was a moment suspended, a pause before the feast fully began, where all senses could soften and awaken at once. The soft glow of lamps made the marble floor gleam, and the shadows of reclining figures stretched long across walls, flickering in harmony with the flames. Conversation was low, almost a murmur, weaving through observations of the day, small jokes, and quiet musings. It was the hour of rest, the first sigh of evening, the time when the house itself seemed to exhale. Here, reclining was more than comfort, it was a signal to the body and the mind to slow. Every sip of wine, every bite of fig or olive, was meant to be noticed, savored, and appreciated. There was no rush, no clatter of urgency, only the soft rhythm of human presence, the dance of lamplight, and the steady, soothing flow of a city settling into night. As the lamps flickered and shadows leaned into corners, the room felt alive yet calm. The evening had begun, not with haste, but with intention. In the silence between conversations, in the pause before the first taste of wine, the world seemed to hold its breath. And in that gentle pause, the art of reclining, of resting, and of being fully present, revealed its quiet magic. Beyond the triclinium, a narrow doorway opened into a courtyard bathed in the last traces of daylight. The sky above was pale gold, slowly fading into a dusky violet. The air here felt different, cooler, touched by the scent of damp earth and crushed mint leaves. A gentle breeze moved through the space, brushing over ivy-clad walls and stirring the delicate petals of white blossoms that clung to the garden edges. In the center, a small pool caught the dim light, its surface trembling softly under the fall of a thin stream of water. The sound was constant but never loud, a whisper, a background hum that soothed the mind. Servants crossed the courtyard quietly, carrying trays of fresh fruit, folded linens, and earthenware cups filled with chilled wine. Their movements were slow and unhurried, practiced from years of grace and rhythm. The lady of the house paused near the fountain, watching her reflection ripple in the pool. She adjusted the folds of her pale tunic and ran her fingers along the cool marble edge. Somewhere nearby, a bird called, a low, lilting note that echoed briefly against the walls before fading into stillness. The world outside these walls might have been loud and bustling, but here, every sound seemed softened, as if wrapped in silk. The master of the house reclined once more on the edge of a couch set near the open doors. He could see the courtyard from where he rested, the faint shimmer of lamplight catching in the water. This view was part of the ritual too, a connection between the calm of nature and the comfort of the feast. The Romans believed beauty should not overwhelm but whisper gently, just enough to remind the heart that life was abundant and slow. A servant refilled the cups, the liquid catching a faint glint from the lamp. The fragrance of figs and honey drifted on the air, mingling with the scent of damp stone. Someone laughed softly, a brief, hushed sound that soon dissolved back into the quiet. The courtyard, the lamps, the low murmur of people preparing for the evening meal, all blended into one continuous breath of peace. The house itself seemed to listen. Even the air moved carefully, as though afraid to disturb the balance of calm that had settled over the place. In that moment, time didn't move forward. It lingered. The courtyard whispered its lullaby of water and wind, and the night gently began its long, unhurried descent. As twilight deepened, the house grew softer, shadows stretching across walls and floors. Oil lamps flickered to life, their flames gentle and steady, casting a warm amber glow that danced lazily over the triclinium. The light touched every surface, the smooth wood of tables, the woven patterns of cushions, and the marble edges of the floor, turning ordinary corners into quiet pockets of calm. The diners shifted slightly on their couches, adjusting cushions beneath their arms, and letting the evening sink fully into their bones. Each movement was measured, deliberate, part of the unspoken rhythm of this tranquil hour. The soft murmur of conversation rose and fell like a tide, never loud, never urgent, just the easy ebb of voices wrapped in contentment. Servants moved between the couches with quiet steps, offering platters of figs, olives, and honeyed bread. The clink of cups as wine was poured was a gentle punctuation in the hush. Sometimes, a hand would reach out to adjust a lamp, tilting the flame just enough so that it would illuminate the delicate designs on the walls, but never too bright to disturb the peaceful atmosphere. From the open windows, the evening air carried the faint fragrance of the courtyard, mint and jasmine drifting lazily inside. The faint hum of a fountain in the garden below added another layer of calm, a subtle rhythm to accompany the diner's gentle motions. Each breath of the air seemed infused with the warmth and quiet of the home, drawing the senses toward ease. As the lamps glowed, shadows leaned against one another, curling softly across the room. Faces were partially lit, expressions softened by the gentle light. In this moment, the house itself felt alive, not in the way of noise or movement, but in its quiet attention to the evening. Every element, the cushions, the food, the air, the flames, worked together to create a single experience of calm and rest. Time slowed. It wasn't measured in hours or minutes but in the subtle passing of light, the soft shift of shadows, and the steady, comforting flow of small sounds. The Roman practice of reclining at the table was more than a custom, it was an invitation to linger, to savor, to let the body and mind move in harmony with the evening. And so, as the lamps continued their slow flicker, the house, the diners, and the night itself exhaled together, settling into the quiet magic of the hour. The world beyond could wait. Here, in the soft glow of the lamps, the art of rest had begun. The next evening arrived with the same gentle rhythm, the sun slipping behind terracotta rooftops as the city began to quiet. Inside the villa, the triclinium awaited with its familiar calm, yet tonight felt different, more intimate, as if the very walls had learned to breathe with the occupants. The couches, arranged carefully along three sides of the room, beckoned like soft islands in a sea of stillness. Each couch was covered in smooth linen, thick and welcoming, with cushions piled high to cradle the body. The fabrics carried the faint scent of beeswax and pressed herbs, a subtle perfume that invited relaxation before the first bite of food. Reclining was an art, and these couches were the medium. To lean, to stretch, to fold oneself comfortably into the cushions, every movement was part of the ritual. The diners, dressed in tunics of pale hues, eased into place. Their left sides pressed against the cushions, heads propped lightly by soft pillows. Small conversations drifted between them, low and measured, like murmurs of wine through the courtyard. There was no rush to eat, the body was given time to sink into the cushions, to adjust, to become part of the room itself. Servants moved silently, a quiet choreography around the couches. Trays of figs, olives, cheeses, and bread were placed within reach. Each platter was arranged with care, colors and textures balanced in a visual rhythm that pleased the eye as much as the taste buds. Even the placement of cups seemed deliberate, angled so that hands could reach them with minimal movement, ensuring the diner's rest was never interrupted. The soft flicker of oil lamps played across the linen, casting gentle shadows that made the room appear to breathe. Marble floors reflected the warm light, giving the impression of small, golden rivers flowing beneath the couches. Outside, the breeze carried the faint scent of night-blooming flowers, blending seamlessly with the aroma of the food and the faint tang of wine. Every element, the cushions, the lamps, the carefully arranged platters, was designed to encourage stillness. Reclining was not just comfort, it was a statement of presence, an invitation to slow time, to observe the small beauty of the evening. Hands rested lightly on the cushions, eyes lingered on the flickering flames, and the gentle hum of voices wove into the rhythm of the house. In the art of reclining, there was both simplicity and sophistication. The body relaxed, the mind quieted, and even the ordinary act of dining became a meditation. Here, on these soft couches of linen, the evening stretched gently ahead, an unhurried passage of calm and warmth. The triclinium felt alive with quiet grace, a room shaped as much by stillness as by its occupants. The act of reclining itself was a subtle language, each gesture telling a story of ease, wealth, and presence. Leaning on the left side, the arm draped naturally over a cushion, the body at once relaxed and attentive, this was more than comfort, it was a carefully cultivated ritual. Hands moved slowly, whether reaching for figs, lifting a cup of wine, or brushing a strand of hair from the brow. Each motion was deliberate, measured, like a gentle dance that acknowledged the body's desire for rest while honoring the ritual of the feast. The soft linen of the cushions embraced every curve, inviting the diner to surrender, to let the evening unfold around them without haste. Eyes wandered lightly across the room. They lingered on the warm glow of oil lamps, on the soft shadows pooling in corners, on the neatly arranged platters of food. The gestures of leisure extended to the smallest details, the tilt of a cup, the careful folding of a napkin, even the subtle arch of a back against the cushions. Each movement reflected a rhythm that the body had learned over countless evenings, a harmony between stillness and the gentle pulse of life. Servants moved around the couches with quiet efficiency, adjusting pillows, refilling cups, or offering a fresh slice of bread. Their steps were soft, almost imperceptible, blending seamlessly into the calm flow of the room. The diner's gestures responded naturally, a silent conversation between the occupants and the household, a nod here, a soft smile there, a quiet reach for olives. Every action was understated, yet purposeful. Outside, the evening deepened. The courtyard air, filled with the scent of jasmine and mint, drifted through the open doors. The faint ripple of the fountain echoed softly, mirroring the unhurried flow of gestures within the room. Reclining was more than a posture, it was an expression of being fully present, of letting the body, the senses, and the mind align with the rhythm of the evening. In this gentle choreography, time seemed to bend. Each motion, each pause, became part of the room's quiet music. Conversation remained soft, punctuated by small laughter or a shared glance, never hurried, never loud. The gesture of leisure was not just about reclining, it was about surrendering to the calm, about finding poetry in the small, deliberate acts that marked a Roman evening. Here, on these soft couches, under the warm flicker of lamps, life slowed to the rhythm of breath, touch, and gaze. The art of leisure was complete, a dance of calm gestures that carried the house and its people effortlessly into the night. Every evening in the triclinium, the simple act of reclining became a silent language, spoken not with words but with posture. The way a guest leaned, rested an arm, or shifted slightly on the cushions communicated subtle messages of ease, respect, and attentiveness. In a society where appearances and rituals mattered, this quiet dance of the body carried meaning as much as the conversation itself. The left side was always preferred, the arm supporting the head or elbow resting lightly on a soft pillow. The right hand remained free, ready to reach for a morsel, a cup of wine, or a small gesture of acknowledgement. Each movement was careful, deliberate, and elegant, a conversation of its own that spoke of patience and presence. A slight lean toward a neighbor could signal interest, while a gentle recline back into the cushions expressed contemplation or satisfaction. Cushions were arranged not merely for comfort but to guide the body into positions that encouraged these graceful motions. Soft linen and feather-stuffed pillows supported the diners, allowing them to rest fully while keeping every movement controlled and thoughtful. The room seemed to respond to each gesture, shadows shifted, lamp flames flickered, and the low murmur of conversation followed the ebb and flow of subtle motions. Even the smallest actions were part of the language. The lifting of a cup, the passing of a platter, the faint adjustment of a pillow, all were gestures that maintained harmony within the group. The Romans understood that leisure was not idle, it was attentive, a mindfulness expressed through body and behavior. Every tilt, every stretch, every pause became part of a shared rhythm, a choreography that bound the evening together. Outside, the courtyard murmured gently under the evening breeze. The soft rustle of leaves and the distant ripple of water mirrored the unhurried flow within the triclinium. The light of oil lamps cast subtle patterns across the walls, highlighting the delicate postures of the diners. Shadows danced in tandem with their movements, a visual echo of the language of posture unfolding in silence. In this quiet ritual, the body spoke as much as words. The gentle reclining, the careful reach, the thoughtful lean, all told stories of calm, patience, and presence. It was a meditation in motion, a way to be fully aware while utterly at rest. And as the evening deepened, the guests lay in harmony with one another, their gestures blending into the rhythm of the house. Here, on soft cushions beneath warm lamplight, every posture was a verse, and every movement a note in the serene symphony of a Roman night. The lamps flickered softly, their amber light spilling across the triclinium as the first course made its quiet entrance. Servants moved with practiced ease, carrying platters heavy with figs, olives, cheese, and small loaves of bread. Each dish was placed with deliberate care, within gentle reach of every reclining guest, as if the room itself had slowed to match the pace of the meal. The figs were plump, their skins glistening in the lamplight, revealing hints of honeyed sweetness within. Olives, green and black, rested in shallow bowls, their earthy aroma mingling with the fragrance of fresh bread straight from the hearth. Cheese, soft and slightly tangy, completed the ensemble, and the subtle scent of herbs floated through the air, adding a delicate spice to the gentle calm. Hands reached lazily for the food, fingers brushing the edges of bowls as eyes lingered on the gentle flicker of flames. Conversations remained soft, muted, flowing like a slow stream. Laughter, when it appeared, was brief and quiet, slipping easily back into the hush of the evening. Every bite was savored, not rushed, each morsel became part of the rhythm of reclining, the careful, mindful practice of enjoying the night. Wine cups were refilled with gentle precision, the liquid catching the warm light, shimmering as it settled. The slight clink of bronze against bronze was rhythmic and comforting, a steady punctuation in the soft symphony of the room. Guests shifted slightly on their cushions, leaning forward or reclining just enough to reach for a dish, their movements blending seamlessly into the calm choreography of the evening. Outside, the courtyard whispered with the breeze, rustling leaves and carrying the faint scent of jasmine into the room. A fountain murmured quietly, its water spilling over smooth stone, echoing the gentle flow of the meal. The house felt alive yet tranquil, a sanctuary of warmth and calm where time bent around the rhythm of taste, light, and presence. In this quiet ritual, the first course was more than food, it was an invitation to linger, to notice the small pleasures of the evening. The soft glow of the lamps, the gentle murmur of conversation, the carefully arranged platters, and the subtle gestures of the diners all wove together, creating a tapestry of calm that wrapped the room in serene comfort. As the guests ate, the world beyond the villa seemed distant and muted, replaced by the gentle harmony of light, taste, and motion. Each bite, each sip, each soft gesture became a note in the quiet song of the Roman evening, carrying the diners deeper into the soothing embrace of the night. The soft clink of cups echoed gently as wine was poured from a tall, slender jug into shallow bronze cups. The liquid shimmered in the lamplight, a deep red that seemed almost liquid warmth itself. The Romans rarely drank wine undiluted, water from a nearby jug was added slowly, mingling with the rich aroma and balancing the flavors. The careful mixing was part of the ritual, a quiet act of patience and attention that set the tone for the evening. Servants moved gracefully between the couches, lifting jugs and offering refills, their hands steady and practiced. The sound of liquid settling into cups became a soothing rhythm, accompanied by the soft murmur of conversation. Guests adjusted cushions or leaned slightly to reach a cup, their motions deliberate yet effortless, as if every gesture were choreographed to maintain the harmony of the room. The mixing bowl, placed in the center of the table, held water and wine together for anyone wishing to blend their own drink. Its surface shimmered with reflection, capturing the flicker of oil lamps and the gentle curves of the room. Some diners dipped their fingers to test the balance, a quiet, thoughtful gesture that invited calm observation. Each sip was slow, mindful, a small ceremony in itself, drawing attention to the subtle flavors, the warmth on the tongue, and the soothing sensation as it slid down the throat. The aroma of herbs and honey mingled with the scent of the wine, weaving a tapestry of fragrances that filled the room. Figs, olives, and bread lay at hand, completing the sensory rhythm. The diner's eyes moved lazily from platter to platter, from lamp to lamp, from friend to friend, absorbing the quiet beauty of the evening. Outside, the courtyard remained hushed, the fountain murmuring steadily, the leaves whispering in the evening breeze. Even the air seemed infused with calm, drifting through open windows to meet the guests in soft, perfumed waves. Every element, the lamplight, the gentle flow of conversation, the careful mixing of wine and water, combined to create a sense of timeless ease. In the simple act of blending wine and water, of noticing the way flavors changed with careful attention, the diners embraced the true art of leisure. Here, in the soft glow of the lamps, in the rhythm of hands and jugs and cups, life slowed to a gentle pulse. The mixing bowl was more than a vessel, it was a symbol of calm, a quiet anchor in the evening's unhurried flow. As the last drop settled and the cups were lifted once more, the room breathed together, a slow, synchronized rhythm of light, taste, and presence that carried everyone deeper into the serene embrace of the Roman night. As the first course lingered on the table, a quiet rhythm settled over the triclinium. In this Roman ritual, the diners did not reach for plates in the modern sense, food was shared from communal platters, passed gently from hand to hand. The act itself demanded patience and awareness, a deliberate slowing of motion that complemented the calm of the evening. Figs were lifted delicately between fingers, olives pinched with care, slices of soft bread broken into small, easy portions. The texture of each bite was appreciated fully, the sweetness of honeyed figs, the earthy tang of olives, the subtle saltiness of cheese, all heightened by the attentiveness of the diner. Eating became less a necessity and more a meditative practice, a gentle dialogue between hand, taste, and mind. Hands moved slowly, deliberately. A guest might reach for a fig, pause, glance at a friend's gesture, and then lift it to the lips with a soft exhale. Every motion was thoughtful, measured, in harmony with the soft murmurs of conversation and the flickering lamplight. Even the passing of platters was a quiet choreography, executed with care, as if the household itself wished to preserve the stillness of the night. The room, bathed in amber glow, seemed to pulse in rhythm with these gentle gestures. Cushions supported every lean, lamps highlighted the graceful curves of arms, and the faint scent of herbs and honey floated through the air, mingling with the aroma of wine and fresh bread. The subtle movements of hands and fingers became part of the larger music of the evening, a quiet symphony of presence and attentiveness. Outside, the courtyard breathed softly under the evening breeze. The fountain murmured, leaves whispered, and the faint hum of distant life reminded the diners that the world continued, yet here, within these walls, time had slowed. Every shared bite, every careful reach, every moment of stillness became part of the serene rhythm that defined this Roman feast. In the absence of plates, the focus shifted to mindfulness. The diners were present with each taste, each gesture, each gentle glance across the room. Hands without plates did not imply casualness, rather, they encouraged a heightened awareness, a deeper engagement with the simple pleasures of food, light, and company. And so, the first course lingered longer than any clock might measure. With hands poised delicately, eyes softened by lamplight, and bodies supported by cushions, the room exhaled into calm. In this gentle intimacy, the art of dining while reclining revealed its quiet power, the ability to slow, to savor, and to allow every moment to unfold like a soft, golden dream. The next evening unfolded quietly, the villa welcoming the soft descent of dusk. Inside the triclinium, the vaulted ceiling arched high above, painted in muted blues and ochres that caught the amber glow of oil lamps. The architecture itself seemed to breathe, carrying the low hum of voices across the room like a gentle wind over still water. Reclining on the familiar cushions, the diners felt the weight of the evening settle over their shoulders. Conversations were soft, almost whispered, the words flowing in careful, unhurried patterns. Philosophical musings brushed lightly against comments on the day's events, while small jokes floated briefly before dissolving back into the calm. Every utterance, every laugh, seemed to be absorbed by the arches above, returning as a quiet echo that blended seamlessly with the ambient warmth of the room. The vaulted ceiling, high and expansive, created a sense of openness without distraction. Shadows from the flickering lamps pooled and shifted across the walls, stretching and curling over painted patterns and polished stone. Each movement of light and shade was mirrored by the gentle nods, gestures, and subtle shifts of the reclining guests. It was a symphony of calm, composed not of instruments, but of voices, posture, and the rhythm of presence. Servants moved quietly along the edges of the room, refilling cups, adjusting cushions, and carrying small dishes to the diners. Their steps were soft and unhurried, part of the room's silent choreography. Occasionally, a hand would reach out to receive a platter, a nod of thanks offered in the gentlest of gestures. Even these tiny motions contributed to the shared rhythm of the space, blending seamlessly into the atmosphere of calm. Through open windows, the courtyard whispered its own song. Leaves rustled in a soft evening breeze, and the fountain's water murmured over stone, a quiet counterpoint to the voices beneath the ceiling. The fragrances of herbs, honey, and fresh bread drifted in, mingling with the warmth of lamp light and the subtle aroma of wine. Every sense was engaged, yet nothing demanded attention, everything invited slow appreciation. In this room, conversation became a gentle current rather than a torrent. Words were vehicles of presence, not urgency, carrying meaning softly from one reclining figure to another. Here, beneath the vaulted ceiling, the very structure of the house conspired with the diners to create an evening of serenity, where voices mingled, gestures flowed, and time seemed to fold in upon itself. And as the night deepened, the room exhaled in unison. Voices, lamplight, and shadows moved together in a quiet dance, weaving a tapestry of calm that carried every occupant gently further into the evening. Among the reclining guests, one figure drew quiet attention, a philosopher, his robes pale against the warm glow of the lamps. He spoke softly, each word deliberate, as if the rhythm of his voice were designed to float through the room rather than land sharply in it. His presence shaped the evening, not with authority or urgency, but with gentle thoughtfulness, encouraging reflection in those around him. He reached for a fig with slow, careful fingers, then paused, letting the gesture linger. The mind, he murmured, finds its clarity not in haste, but in stillness. His words drifted across the room, touching the diners lightly, settling in the spaces between conversation. Some nodded, some smiled softly, and all listened, not with expectation, but with ease, allowing the phrase to ripple through the calm of the evening. The reclining posture itself mirrored the lesson of his words. Bodies stretched into cushions, arms resting lightly, eyes softened by lamplight. The philosopher's presence reminded them that dining in this manner was not merely about food, it was a meditation, a slow immersion into the beauty of sensory perception and thoughtful companionship. Each gesture, each movement of hand or cup, became part of a shared awareness, guided by the quiet influence of his calm. Servants moved around the room, attending to cups and platters, their motions unobtrusive yet precise. The soft shimmer of wine in bronze cups caught the lamplight, reflecting tiny patterns onto walls and cushions. The philosopher reached for a small dish of cheese, pausing again to observe its texture and aroma. Even this small act became a lesson in mindfulness, a reminder that every detail, however ordinary, could be a source of calm and focus if approached slowly. Through the open windows, the courtyard murmured softly in response. Leaves rustled in the breeze, the fountain gurgled quietly, and the scent of jasmine and mint drifted in like a lullaby for the senses. The philosopher's soft words mingled with these sounds, forming a gentle harmony that filled the villa with serene energy. Conversation elsewhere in the room was subdued, flowing around the presence of thought rather than against it. The lamps flickered, shadows shifted, and time seemed to stretch to match the measured pace of the evening. In every reclining figure, there was a quiet absorption, a conscious surrender to the rhythm of calm, a shared recognition that the night itself was part of the lesson. As the evening deepened, the philosopher leaned back, letting the words linger in the warm lamplight. Here, in the still embrace of the villa, among gentle gestures and flickering shadows, the art of reflection and presence had found its place, soft, unhurried, and utterly serene. The evening had deepened, and the flickering lamps cast long, soft shadows across the triclinium. Every corner of the room seemed to breathe, filled with quiet gestures and muted conversation. On the couches, figures reclined gracefully, their movements slow and deliberate, as though every shift of the body and tilt of the head were part of an unspoken choreography. Between sips of wine and bites of figs, soft whispers passed from one guest to another, almost hidden beneath the hum of the room. These were not hurried secrets, but silken words, carefully folded into the calm of the night. A subtle nod, a glance toward a neighbor, or the gentle extension of a hand conveyed more than sound could capture. In these moments, intimacy was not loud or invasive, it was woven quietly into the tapestry of the evening. The cushions, soft and enveloping, encouraged stillness, allowing guests to focus on small exchanges without distraction. Hands brushed lightly over platters of olives, bread, and cheese, the gestures gentle and precise. Every movement spoke of mindfulness, of attention given not only to the food but to the companions, to the space, to the harmony of the evening. Even the placement of a cup or the careful tilt of a pillow became part of the delicate rhythm of communication. From the open windows, the courtyard offered a hushed accompaniment. The fountain murmured softly, and the evening breeze carried hints of jasmine and mint. The sounds blended with the whispers inside, creating a subtle counterpoint to the lamplight's warm flicker. The room felt suspended, a serene island where words could float, and secrets could exist like tiny treasures between the folds of conversation. Even the servants seemed attuned to this quiet, moving with a grace that matched the calm of the diners. Platters were offered, cups were refilled, and cushions were adjusted without a single disruption to the room's gentle rhythm. Their silent presence reinforced the sense of peace, allowing the guests' soft exchanges to remain undisturbed. In this atmosphere, silken secrets were less about mystery and more about presence. They were the soft nods, the gentle acknowledgments, the shared moments that deepened connection without breaking the calm. Each whisper, each subtle gesture, became a note in the quiet symphony of the evening, carrying the diners further into the gentle embrace of night. And so, beneath the flickering lamps and vaulted ceiling, with cushions cradling bodies and whispers gliding softly across the room, the house settled fully into stillness. The art of sharing, of subtle conversation and silent understanding, revealed its serene beauty, leaving the guests suspended in the soft, golden glow of a Roman night. The triclinium hummed with quiet warmth, a gentle glow from the oil lamps casting soft amber light across the cushions and marble floor. While the diners reclined and murmured softly among themselves, another rhythm moved silently through the room, the careful, graceful steps of the servants. They were the silent helpers, the unseen dancers in the quiet choreography of the evening. With measured precision, they carried trays of olives, figs, and bread, placing each platter exactly where it was needed. Cups of wine were refilled with gentle attention, ensuring no hand reached empty. Every movement was deliberate, yet so fluid it seemed to belong naturally to the rhythm of the room. Their presence was almost invisible, yet essential, an undercurrent of care that allowed the diners to sink fully into comfort and leisure. The soft shuffle of feet on polished floors, the muted clink of bronze against marble, and the subtle hiss of lamp flames being adjusted created a background hum that blended with the murmured conversation. Each motion, though small, was part of the evening's quiet music, a steady beat beneath the flickering lamplight. The helpers' careful attention made the rhythm of the meal seamless, their silence amplifying the serenity of the space. A servant adjusted a cushion beneath a reclining arm, smoothing the soft linen so that the guest might settle more fully. Another approached the table, extending a platter of figs with a gentle, almost imperceptible bow of the head. Even the smallest gestures, the tilt of a jug, the gentle sweep of a hand to clear crumbs, were executed with thoughtful precision, weaving a subtle layer of grace into the evening. Outside, the courtyard whispered softly under the night breeze. Leaves rustled quietly, the fountain gurgled its steady song, and the aroma of jasmine drifted in through the open windows. The silent helpers seemed attuned to these natural rhythms, their movements blending seamlessly with the quiet beauty of the night. In this unspoken dance, the servants became the guardians of calm. Their hands, gestures, and careful attentiveness ensured that the diners could remain fully present, absorbed in the slow, mindful art of reclining and sharing the evening. They were more than attendants, they were keepers of the serenity that enveloped the room. And so, as the lamps flickered softly and shadows leaned into corners, the silent helpers moved through the triclinium, their quiet presence a steady heartbeat beneath the gentle flow of conversation, gestures, and the lingering warmth of a Roman night. The evening had settled into a gentle, measured pace, where every gesture and every glance was part of a quiet, shared rhythm. Among these motions, the simple act of refilling cups became a central thread in the tapestry of the night. Servants moved softly, carrying jugs of wine, their steps almost inaudible, their hands steady, their movements flowing seamlessly between the couches. Each cup was touched with care. The wine, deep red and glimmering in the lamplight, poured slowly into bronze vessels, sometimes diluted with cool water from nearby jugs. The liquid caught the flickering flames, reflecting tiny rivers of amber and gold across the marble table. The diners, reclining comfortably, lifted their cups gently, tipping them to receive the replenished drink without disturbing the calm of the evening. The rhythm was hypnotic. Pouring, tilting, sipping, each motion followed the last with quiet precision, as if rehearsed over countless evenings. Even the smallest pause, a delicate adjustment of a hand or the tilt of a head, became part of the music of the room. The repetition of this simple act, wine meeting cup, cup lifted, fingers brushing lightly over the rim, provided a soothing cadence, a heartbeat beneath the gentle hum of conversation. Outside, the courtyard breathed with the soft murmur of the fountain. Leaves rustled in the evening breeze, carrying the faint perfume of mint and jasmine into the room. The rhythm of refilled cups blended with these natural sounds, forming a quiet symphony that seemed to stretch time itself. Every sip, every gesture, became an anchor in the slow unfolding of the Roman evening. The diners shifted lazily on their cushions, leaning just enough to reach a cup, then reclining once more into the soft embrace of linen and pillows. Conversation remained subdued, each voice harmonizing with the rhythm of movement. The act of refilling cups was not merely functional, it was a meditation in motion, a gentle reminder of patience, care, and the subtle beauty of small, deliberate actions. In the flickering lamplight, the cups reflected the warm glow, shadows dancing across the room as if keeping time with the motions of hands and jugs. The silent choreography of refill and receipt carried the diners deeper into presence, their senses attuned to the gentle pulse of the evening. And as the night unfolded, each gesture, pouring, lifting, sipping, wove together with conversation, flickering lamps, and quiet laughter. In the steady rhythm of refilling cups, the Roman evening revealed its serene heart, a calm, unhurried world where every motion mattered, and every sip became part of a lingering, golden dream. The room was bathed in the gentle glow of oil lamps, their flames flickering softly and casting long, fluid shadows across the triclinium. Each shadow seemed to move with the diners, stretching over cushions, walls, and the smooth marble floor, merging with the quiet rhythm of the evening. The soft play of light and dark became part of the atmosphere, a silent companion to the gentle murmurs of conversation and the faint clink of cups. Reclining guests watched the shadows as much as they watched one another. The flicker of lamp flames transformed familiar shapes into ephemeral figures, dancing gracefully along the walls. Shadows of hands reaching for figs, tilting cups, or brushing cushions became a subtle, almost hypnotic rhythm, weaving into the calm pulse of the room. Each movement, however small, contributed to a delicate choreography that invited both focus and relaxation. The scent of olive oil and fresh bread mingled with the faint aroma of herbs, carrying through the open windows and blending with the cool evening breeze. Outside, the courtyard whispered softly, the fountain murmured steadily, leaves rustled lightly, and a faint perfume of jasmine drifted inward. The shadows seemed to stretch and bend with these natural sounds, creating a seamless bridge between the room's interior and the quiet world beyond. Servants moved carefully, their forms sometimes merging with the shadows themselves. A tilt of a tray, the careful pass of a platter, the subtle adjustment of a pillow, all became part of the shifting tapestry of light and dark. Even the simplest motions were elevated by the flickering lamplight, their soft elegance magnified in shadowed reflection. The diner's movements were equally gentle, almost meditative. Every shift of a hand, the turn of a head, or the slight lean of the body across cushions was mirrored by shadows that flowed in tandem. Conversation remained subdued, whispers echoing softly against walls and vaulted ceilings. In this interplay of light, dark, and movement, the room seemed suspended in a golden, quiet world, untouched by the rush beyond the villa's walls. Here, in the lamplit glow, the ordinary became extraordinary. Shadows told stories as subtly as the words spoken, revealing the rhythm of the evening in forms of shifting shapes. Every flicker, every motion, every hush of movement invited the senses to linger, to observe, and to drift into the calm of night. And as the lamps continued their soft dance, the shadows moved alongside the diners, wrapping them in a quiet embrace of light and darkness, carrying the room, the house, and its people deeper into the serene, unhurried heart of a Roman evening. Evenings in the triclinium had a rhythm all their own, and perhaps the most subtle melody was the soft murmur of conversation. Words were spoken not to rush, but to linger, to float gently across the room and settle like warm light on the cushions and marble floors. The sound was steady but subdued, a gentle undercurrent that invited attention without demanding it. The diners leaned comfortably against pillows, bodies supported by soft linen and feather-stuffed cushions. Heads tilted slightly toward one another, eyes soft and attentive, fingers lightly tracing the edges of bowls or cups. Each small gesture was part of a quiet dialogue that extended beyond the spoken word. A nod, a soft smile, or the gentle tilt of a cup carried meaning as clearly as the voice itself, weaving a tapestry of connection and ease. Servants moved along the edges of the room, their quiet presence ensuring that the murmurs remained undisturbed. Jugs of wine were refilled, cushions smoothed, and platters passed with careful precision. Their subtle movements blended into the rhythm of conversation, creating a seamless flow that allowed the diners to remain immersed in the calm intimacy of the evening. The warm light of oil lamps flickered across the room, highlighting faces, hands, and the gentle rise and fall of reclining bodies. Shadows danced across walls, stretching and curling in tandem with the slow sway of motion. The sound of conversation intertwined with these visual rhythms, forming a harmony of voice, gesture, and light that invited the mind to slow, to notice, and to drift into serenity. From the open windows, the courtyard added its own soft accompaniment. Leaves whispered in the evening breeze, the fountain gurgled quietly, and the faint aroma of jasmine and mint drifted inside. These subtle sounds mixed effortlessly with the murmurs, as if the house itself conspired to cradle its occupants in a cocoon of calm. Even the topics of conversation were gentle, reflective, and understated. Stories of the day, observations about the garden, or fleeting thoughts on philosophy were shared with care, always soft and never hurried. Every word was savored, every pause appreciated, each breath and sigh absorbed into the room's gentle cadence. In this environment, conversation became more than speech, it became an extension of presence, a meditation woven into the quiet fabric of the evening. Every whisper, every soft laugh, and every tilt of the head contributed to the serene rhythm of the triclinium. And as the night deepened, the gentle murmur of conversation enveloped the room, wrapping diners in warmth, calm, and the unhurried magic of a Roman evening, where time seemed to bend to the slow, deliberate pulse of words and light. The triclinium was a sanctuary of quiet motion, and in its heart, the flicker of lamps on bronze vessels created a gentle, mesmerizing spectacle. The light danced across cups, trays, and bowls, casting golden reflections that shimmered like liquid warmth. Every movement of the diners, from lifting a cup to reaching for a slice of bread, transformed the bronze into a stage of soft, glimmering patterns. Shadows played along the walls and ceilings, stretching and folding as the flames wavered. The interplay between light and dark was hypnotic, a subtle pulse beneath the low murmur of conversation. Reclining figures became part of this dance, their gestures mirrored by elongated shadows, their every tilt and shift magnified into flowing shapes that glided gracefully across the room. Servants moved silently among the couches, carrying additional platters or adjusting cushions with delicate precision. Even their hands seemed to join the quiet performance, steadying cups or tilting trays so that wine and water mingled without disturbing the calm of the evening. The gentle flicker of bronze vessels in their hands added a rhythmic shimmer, a silent accompaniment to the soft cadence of voices and laughter. The aroma of figs, olives, and fresh bread mingled with the subtle scent of heated olive oil from the lamps, a fragrant backdrop to the visual display. Guests paused between sips and bites, observing the light glinting off cups and plates, noticing how shadows stretched along the walls in tandem with the soft sway of the cushions. Every small observation became a part of the sensory meditation, a way to sink deeper into presence and tranquility. Outside, the courtyard responded with its own quiet music. The fountain murmured steadily, leaves rustled in the cool evening breeze, and the faint scent of jasmine drifted in to mingle with the lamplight. The bronze and flame inside the room seemed to echo the subtle dance of natural light and motion outside, creating a seamless bridge between the world within and the quiet night beyond. Even the smallest gestures, tilting a cup, passing a platter, shifting a cushion, became part of a larger choreography, harmonized by the flickering lamps. Each movement carried weight and grace, elevated by the interplay of bronze, flame, and shadow. In the gentle glow, the room exhaled as one. The flicker of bronze and flame, combined with the rhythm of movement and murmured conversation, wove a serene tapestry of light and presence. The diners reclined, eyes softened, senses alert yet relaxed, sinking fully into the quiet magic of a Roman evening, where every flicker and reflection became a meditation in motion. As the evening deepened, the room seemed to breathe in tandem with the flickering lamps. Shadows stretched and leaned across walls and cushions, moving in gentle waves that mirrored the subtle gestures of the reclining diners. The triclinium had transformed into a quiet stage, where light and darkness performed a slow, hypnotic dance. The guests shifted lightly on soft cushions, hands reaching for olives, figs, or a cup of diluted wine. Each movement was mirrored in the shadows, elongated and softened by the flickering flames. The interplay of shadow and gesture made even the simplest acts appear poetic, a quiet choreography of presence and calm. Every tilt of a head, every gentle stretch, every lift of a cup became a note in the evening's unhurried symphony. Servants moved among the diners, their forms blending seamlessly with the shadows they cast. A soft adjustment of a cushion, the careful pass of a tray, or a tilt of a jug was elevated in shadow to a slow, graceful motion that harmonized with the room's rhythm. The silent helpers were part of the dance, their subtle movements a heartbeat beneath the flickering play of light. The muted murmur of conversation wove around the shadows like a gentle wind, soft phrases and quiet laughter flowing through the space without breaking the calm. Reclining figures absorbed the soft language of light and dark, eyes occasionally following the shadows as they moved, letting their thoughts drift with the gentle pulse of the room. Even without words, the shadows seemed to communicate, whispering calm and presence to anyone who watched. Outside, the courtyard offered its own serene accompaniment. Leaves rustled in the evening breeze, the fountain murmured quietly, and the faint fragrance of jasmine drifted in through open windows. The slow dance of shadows inside mirrored the natural rhythm of the world beyond the walls, tying the villa to the calm night outside. In this delicate interplay, time seemed suspended. The dancers of light and shade moved effortlessly with the diners' gestures, creating a continuous, unhurried performance that invited reflection and stillness. Each shadow lingered a moment longer before fading, each flicker stretched into gentle waves that carried the room deeper into serenity. And as the night advanced, the slow dance of shadows wrapped the triclinium in quiet intimacy. Guests reclined further into cushions, hands resting lightly, eyes softened by lamplight, and every breath, every gesture, every flickering silhouette became part of the soothing rhythm of a Roman evening, timeless, gentle, and utterly serene. By the time the second course arrived, the triclinium had settled into a rhythm of quiet harmony. The soft amber glow of oil lamps reflected off bronze cups and polished trays, while shadows stretched across the walls, stretching and bending with the gentle movements of the diners. The first course had faded into memory, leaving behind a calm, lingering satisfaction. Servants entered with new platters, their steps silent and measured. They carried bowls of stewed lentils, tender meats, and fresh vegetables, each dish carefully arranged to be within reach of the reclining guests. The aroma of simmering herbs and spices floated through the room, mingling with the lingering fragrance of figs, olives, and bread. Each scent, subtle yet distinct, wove into the tapestry of the evening, inviting the senses to linger. Hands reached slowly for morsels, fingers brushing the edges of bowls with gentle care. There was no rush, each bite was savored, each taste appreciated. The rich flavors of the second course complemented the soft wine, the textures of meat, lentils, and vegetables harmonizing with the gentle cadence of conversation. Every gesture, lifting a cup, reaching for a platter, passing a dish to a neighbor, was executed with deliberate precision, blending seamlessly into the tranquil rhythm of the room. The diner's eyes wandered softly across the triclinium, noting the flicker of lamps, the subtle play of shadows, and the flowing gestures of companions. Conversation remained hushed, punctuated by gentle laughter or soft murmurs, never rising above the calm pulse of the evening. Even the smallest expressions, a raised eyebrow, a slow nod, a fleeting smile, were magnified in the gentle lamplight, each adding depth to the quiet tapestry of presence. Outside, the courtyard whispered its own rhythm. Leaves rustled in the evening breeze, the fountain gurgled steadily, and the faint scent of jasmine drifted inward. The serene sounds merged with the muted clinking of cups and platters, creating a multi-layered symphony of calm. The second course was more than nourishment, it was part of a continuous meditation, a slow unfolding of sensory and social harmony. The careful arrangement of dishes and the measured pace of dining allowed the diners to sink fully into presence. Reclining against cushions, lifting morsels to their lips, exchanging soft words, they participated in a quiet choreography where every motion was meaningful, yet effortless. And as the second course continued, the triclinium exhaled in unison. Light, shadow, aroma, and motion wove together seamlessly, carrying everyone deeper into the warm, unhurried embrace of a Roman evening, where time stretched, and every sensation became a meditation in calm. As the second course settled across the triclinium, a new rhythm emerged, the soft clink of platters, cups, and utensils as they passed from hand to hand. Each sound was subtle, almost musical, blending into the gentle hum of conversation and the flicker of the oil lamps. The noise was never abrupt or demanding, it flowed like a quiet stream, guiding the diner's attention without interrupting the calm of the evening. The platters themselves were treasures of texture and aroma. Stewed lentils glistened with olive oil, roasted meats shimmered with juices, and vegetables, lightly seasoned with herbs, offered their earthy fragrance to the soft lamplight. Each dish was offered, received, and returned with care, hands moving gracefully, fingers brushing the edges of bronze bowls or the polished trays. The delicate clinking punctuated the slow cadence of the night, a gentle rhythm that encouraged mindfulness in every gesture. Guests reclined against cushions, their bodies softened into linen and feather-stuffed support. As a platter passed, fingers extended deliberately, paused, and then drew back, carrying morsels to the lips with quiet appreciation. The motions were measured, each act of sharing or receiving a small ritual, each sound of bronze against bronze a subtle percussion in the evening's meditative symphony. Even the servants' movements were choreographed in harmony with the clinking of platters. Jugs of wine were lifted and poured, small dishes were adjusted, and cushions smoothed, all with precision that echoed the grace of the diners themselves. Their presence was unobtrusive yet essential, weaving seamlessly into the layered soundscape of the room. Outside, the courtyard whispered gently, leaves rustled, the fountain murmured steadily, and a faint breeze carried the scent of jasmine through the open windows. These natural sounds blended with the soft metallic notes of the platters, creating a delicate, multi-layered harmony that drew the senses inward. Each clink, each shift, each gentle motion became part of the larger meditation, a slow, conscious rhythm of presence. In this quiet symphony, even the smallest gestures mattered. The tilt of a cup, the brush of a finger against a tray, the slight sway of a cushion, every detail contributed to the serene flow of the evening. The sound of platters became a lullaby for the senses, each note carrying the diners deeper into calm and contemplation. And as the night stretched further, the triclinium seemed suspended in a golden rhythm of motion, sound, and shadow. The soft clink of platters, entwined with murmurs, lamplight, and gentle gestures, created a serene, unhurried space where every participant could linger fully in the warm embrace of a Roman evening. As the second course drew to a close, the triclinium seemed to exhale in quiet contentment. The aromas of stewed lentils, roasted meats, and seasoned vegetables lingered in the air, weaving softly with the fragrance of figs, olives, and fresh bread. Each flavor, carefully savored by the diners, settled on the palate like a gentle memory, leaving behind a warmth that extended beyond the body and into the mind. The flickering lamps cast long shadows, stretching across cushions, walls, and bronze vessels. Every gesture, lifting a morsel, tilting a cup, brushing crumbs from a tray, was mirrored in subtle darkness, creating an intricate dance of light and shade that moved in harmony with the rhythm of the room. Shadows seemed to linger a moment longer than the actions that produced them, as if the night itself wanted to savor each movement. Conversations softened further, becoming hushed reflections rather than exchanges. Words blended with the quiet clink of cups, the muted shuffle of cushions, and the gentle whisper of air moving through open windows. The courtyard murmured its own accompaniment, leaves rustled, the fountain babbled steadily, and a faint fragrance of jasmine drifted inward. Inside and outside merged in a gentle symphony, the senses drawn to subtle movement, delicate sounds, and the calm repetition of presence. Hands rested lightly on cushions, fingers occasionally tracing the edge of a bowl or the rim of a cup. Each bite of lingering flavor became a moment of quiet meditation, every sip of wine a small ceremony. The diners reclined deeper into pillows, shoulders softened, eyes half closed, and minds gently drifting with the warm glow of the lamps. Servants moved with careful precision, their steps silent, platters passed smoothly, cups refilled without interruption. They were woven into the rhythm of the evening, silent conductors ensuring that nothing disturbed the delicate balance of comfort and awareness. Every motion, though small, maintained the flow, allowing diners to remain fully immersed in the serene environment. As the lamp's flames flickered low, the room seemed to fold in on itself, creating an intimate cocoon of warmth, light, and scent. Flavors lingered, conversations softened, and shadows stretched into gentle patterns that carried the eye without demanding attention. The second course had passed, but its quiet presence remained, a gentle current beneath the calm of the Roman night. And so, with fading light, lingering flavors, and the slow, unhurried pulse of the evening, the triclinium became a sanctuary of sensory calm, a warm, timeless space where every gesture, every taste, and every whisper guided the diners deeper into serene, dreamlike stillness. The third course arrived softly, carried by silent hands that seemed part of the room itself. Bronze trays glimmered in the lamplight, laden with ripe fruits, figs, pomegranates, grapes, and apples, arranged carefully to catch the warm amber glow. Small bowls of honey shimmered alongside, golden and thick, ready to mingle with the natural sweetness of the fruits. Diners reclined on cushions, eyes softened, bodies already steeped in the calm rhythm of the evening. Fingers extended gracefully to lift a fig, the tender skin giving gently under touch, or to dip a slice of apple into the honey, letting it coat the fruit slowly. Each bite was deliberate, a soft meditation on flavor and texture. The sweetness lingered on the tongue, the warmth of honey spreading subtly, blending with the quiet ambience of conversation and flickering lamplight. The lamps cast dancing shadows over the platters and the reclining figures. Every movement, the lift of a hand, the pass of a tray, the gentle tilt of a cup, was mirrored in elongated, liquid shadows that seemed to float along the cushions and walls. These quiet reflections amplified the serenity of the evening, creating a soft, hypnotic visual rhythm that carried through the senses. Servants moved silently, passing platters and refilling cups without interrupting the calm. Even their smallest gestures, the tilt of a bowl, the careful placement of a grape, the smoothing of a cushion, became part of the evening's slow choreography. Each motion harmonized with the subtle murmur of voices and the flickering patterns of lamplight, creating a delicate symphony of presence and ease. Outside, the courtyard whispered quietly in accompaniment. Leaves stirred softly in the evening breeze, the fountain gurgled its steady murmur, and the faint scent of jasmine drifted in, mingling with the aroma of fresh fruit and sweet honey. Inside and out, the senses were drawn into a calm dialogue, a gentle acknowledgement of beauty without haste or expectation. As the diners savored each bite, eyes wandered to the flickering shadows, to the graceful gestures of companions, to the soft glow of lamps reflecting in bronze cups. Conversation remained hushed, words flowing slowly and thoughtfully, sometimes trailing into silence, sometimes punctuated by quiet laughter. Every moment became an invitation to presence, each taste a meditation, each gesture a gentle echo in the evening's rhythm. And so, as figs, grapes, and honey continued to delight the senses, the triclinium exhaled in soft harmony. The sweetness of fruit and honey, combined with shadows, murmured voices, and flickering light, carried the diners deeper into calm, embedding them fully in the timeless, serene pulse of a Roman night. As the sweetness of fruit and honey lingered on the palate, the diners reached for cups of mulled wine, deep red and rich with subtle aromas of honey and spices. Each sip was deliberate, a gentle indulgence, a soft continuation of the calm rhythm that had filled the triclinium for hours. The warm liquid flowed smoothly, mirroring the languid pace of conversation and the quiet ebb and flow of gestures. Voices became whispers, low and hushed, as companions leaned toward one another. Words were measured, soft, floating like gentle currents across the cushions. A subtle nod, a quiet laugh, the slow tilt of a cup, all carried meaning in the hushed intimacy of the room. Here, speech was less about communication and more about connection, each phrase blending seamlessly into the shared serenity of the evening. Shadows flickered and shifted across walls, playing alongside the motion of hands and the shimmer of wine in bronze cups. The gentle contrast of light and dark mirrored the flow of conversation, soft, fluid, unhurried. Even the smallest gestures, a hand brushing crumbs from a tray, the tilt of a jug, added rhythm to the room, a subtle punctuation to the unspoken poetry of presence. Servants moved quietly along the edges of the room, refilling cups and smoothing cushions, their silent care woven seamlessly into the evening's calm. Every motion was delicate, synchronized with the flow of murmured words and flickering lamplight, maintaining the gentle harmony that allowed diners to remain fully immersed in their senses. Outside, the courtyard whispered with soft consistency, leaves rustled gently, the fountain murmured steadily, and the faint scent of jasmine drifted through open windows, mingling with the rich aroma of honeyed wine. Inside and out, the world seemed to move as one, the rhythms of nature echoing the subtle cadence of the triclinium. Hands held cups lightly, bringing them to lips in slow, reflective motion. Conversations curled and lingered like the scent of the wine itself, meandering from philosophy to fleeting observations, from reflections on the day to gentle laughter, always soft, always unhurried. Each whisper became part of the meditation, each sip a moment to settle deeper into the warm embrace of presence. And so, beneath the flickering lamps, with shadows stretching and dancing across walls and cushions, the whispers over sweet wine carried the diners further into stillness. The soft glow, the gentle murmurs, and the lingering sweetness intertwined seamlessly, creating an atmosphere where time slowed, senses awakened, and the serene magic of a Roman evening embraced every heart in gentle, unbroken calm. As the cups of honeyed wine emptied and platters of fruit dwindled, the triclinium exhaled a deep, quiet sigh. The room, softened by hours of flickering lamplight and gentle conversation, had transformed into a sanctuary of calm. Shadows stretched lazily across walls and cushions, merging with the low hum of whispers to create a seamless tapestry of serenity. Reclining figures leaned further into cushions, bodies heavy with the warmth of food, the sweetness of wine, and the subtle satisfaction of lingering companionship. Fingers traced the edges of bowls or cups, gestures slow and reflective, as if unwilling to disturb the delicate stillness of the evening. Conversation softened into murmurs, words curling gently into the room's pervasive quiet, each phrase like a small, deliberate brushstroke on the canvas of the night. Servants moved with their usual quiet grace, adjusting cushions, collecting empty vessels, and refilling cups where needed. Each step, each gesture, flowed with effortless precision, blending seamlessly into the calm. The soft shuffle of feet on polished floors, the gentle clink of bronze, and the careful pass of platters created a subtle, comforting rhythm that matched the slow heartbeat of the room. Outside, the courtyard whispered softly. Leaves stirred in the gentle evening breeze, the fountain gurgled steadily, and the faint scent of jasmine drifted inward, mingling with the warmth of lamplight and lingering aromas of fruit and honey. The world beyond the villa seemed to acknowledge the calm, its rhythms bending in quiet concord with the triclinium. Every movement within the room was deliberate yet effortless. A hand lifted a final grape, a cup tilted to receive the last of the sweet wine, shadows stretching one final time before settling into stillness. Eyes softened, heads inclined toward pillows, and shoulders relaxed fully, as if the body itself had yielded to the gentle current of the night. The last whispers of conversation trailed off, leaving the room suspended in quiet reverie. The flickering lamps, the shadows dancing faintly on the walls, the subtle scent of the evening, and the warmth of cushioned bodies combined into a soft, lingering embrace. Time itself seemed to pause, each breath, each motion, each quiet glance carrying weight and beauty in equal measure. And so, as the last drifts of evening settled over the triclinium, the diners were enveloped in serenity. The food, the wine, the flickering light, the shadows, and the whispers coalesced into a gentle, unbroken calm. In this soft, golden cocoon, the magic of a Roman night held them completely, a quiet, timeless meditation where every sense, every gesture, and every moment carried them deeper into peaceful, unhurried stillness. As the hours in the triclinium slipped quietly by, the evening began its slow descent toward stillness. The warm glow of oil lamps softened further, casting a mellow light that seemed to settle into every corner of the room. Shadows stretched and leaned across cushions and walls, long and languid, echoing the relaxed posture of the reclining diners. The murmured conversation had become even gentler, drifting in soft, hushed tones that mingled with the occasional clink of bronze and the faint rustle of cushions. Words were spoken slowly, carefully, as if to preserve the calm that filled the space. Each phrase was a small gesture, a soft ripple in the quiet pool of the evening, and every listener received it with patience, with presence, and with ease. Servants moved quietly along the periphery, adjusting cushions, collecting empty dishes, and refilling the last cups of wine. Their steps were deliberate, their movements fluid, almost as if they were floating. The gentle shuffle of their feet, the soft placement of trays, and the subtle tilt of a jug became part of the evening's unhurried rhythm, supporting the serenity without ever calling attention to themselves. Outside, the courtyard whispered its own lullaby. Leaves stirred softly in the gentle evening breeze, the fountain gurgled a steady, hypnotic cadence, and the faint scent of jasmine drifted through the open windows. The natural sounds wove seamlessly into the subdued symphony of the triclinium, merging with the flicker of lamps and shadows to create a sense of timeless calm. The diners, leaning further into cushions and pillows, let their senses absorb the gentle beauty of the moment. Fingers traced the edges of empty bowls or lingering cups, eyes followed the slow play of shadows, and bodies shifted minutely, like soft waves moving in response to the quiet pulse of the room. Each gesture, though small, became part of the meditation, a mindful note in the lullaby of the evening. As the evening winds down, the warmth of shared presence wrapped the diners in subtle comfort. Every flicker of lamplight, every soft murmur, every graceful motion of a hand or tilt of a cup deepened the sense of calm. Time seemed to stretch, slowing to match the measured rhythm of hearts, breaths, and shadows. And so, as the last hours of the Roman night approached, the triclinium settled fully into serenity. The gentle glow of lamps, the soft whisper of conversation, the attentive movements of servants, and the quiet murmur of the courtyard created a cocoon of peace. In this slow, deliberate winding down, the evening became a timeless sanctuary, carrying each guest deeper into the tranquil embrace of night. The meal had ended, yet the triclinium retained a gentle warmth, as if the room itself were digesting the lingering aromas and soft conversations. Platters, now mostly empty, reflected the flickering lamplight, casting delicate shadows that stretched across cushions and marble floors. The air smelled faintly of honey, figs, and olive oil, a subtle perfume that blended with the cooler evening breeze drifting through open windows. Guests reclined comfortably, bodies heavy with the slow satisfaction of food and drink. Limbs stretched lazily across pillows, heads tilted against soft cushions, and eyes softened in the mellow lamplight. Conversation, once hushed and deliberate, had now faded into quiet murmurs, occasional sighs, and contented glances exchanged between friends. Servants moved with gentle purpose, tidying the remnants of the feast. Platters were carried away, cups refilled or collected, and cushions adjusted for comfort. Their movements were silent, precise, and unobtrusive, a soft accompaniment to the calm that had settled fully over the room. Each gesture seemed to respect the stillness, blending seamlessly into the quiet rhythm of the post-meal atmosphere. Shadows flickered along the walls, long and fluid, catching on bronze vessels and the folds of cushions. The movement of hands, the slow tilt of a cup, the brushing of a crumb, all became part of a delicate ballet, amplified by the gentle lamplight. The room's visual texture, combined with the quiet murmur of conversation, created a hypnotic, serene environment where every detail was noticed yet never disruptive. Outside, the courtyard whispered softly. Leaves rustled in the cooling night air, the fountain gurgled with steady calm, and the faint aroma of jasmine and mint drifted through the open windows. The world beyond the villa mirrored the serene pace inside, reinforcing the sense of suspended time and unhurried presence that enveloped the diners. Hands rested lightly on cushions, fingers tracing familiar patterns, cups lifted occasionally for a final sip of wine, and eyes wandered slowly to shadows or companions' faces. Every motion was gentle, deliberate, and mindful, reinforcing the quiet meditation that had become the rhythm of the evening. In this gentle interlude, the quiet after the feast was more than stillness, it was a deep, shared awareness. The diners, the servants, and even the shadows seemed to breathe together, attuned to the subtle pulse of the triclinium. Time stretched, senses sharpened in their softness, and the magic of a Roman night lingered like a warm embrace, carrying everyone deeper into calm, unhurried serenity. The night had deepened, and the lamps in the triclinium flickered softly, their flames leaning toward exhaustion. Each tiny glow painted the room with a warm, amber light, stretching shadows across cushions, walls, and the polished marble floor. The gentle dance of flame and shadow had slowed, almost as if the room itself were drifting toward sleep. Diners reclined further, bodies sinking fully into pillows and cushions. Eyes, half closed, followed the gentle sway of shadows, letting each flicker carry them deeper into the warmth of the room. Conversations had grown almost imperceptible, soft murmurs, gentle sighs, the occasional quiet laugh, but even these had slowed, matching the fading rhythm of the lamps. Servants moved with the same quiet precision that had guided the evening, though now their gestures were slower, more deliberate. They adjusted cushions, collected the last empty cups, and smoothed the linen with care. Each motion was measured, fluid, and harmonious, blending into the subdued light and hushed atmosphere. Even the smallest movement, tilting a jug, passing a platter, seemed magnified by the dim glow, as if time itself had softened around it. The shadows grew long and languid, stretching toward corners of the room, melting into the walls, and merging with the soft shapes of reclining figures. Hands lifted slowly, cups tipped gently, fingers brushed against bowls, and every action was mirrored in quiet, elegant silhouettes. The interplay of light and shadow became a meditation in itself, an ever-changing pattern that invited the mind to wander and rest. Outside, the courtyard breathed in sync with the calm inside. Leaves rustled gently in the night breeze, the fountain gurgled steadily, and the faint scent of jasmine and mint drifted through the open windows. The world beyond the villa seemed to slow alongside the room, its soft rhythms aligning perfectly with the dimming light and relaxed hearts of those within. In this tranquil moment, the triclinium seemed suspended in golden stillness. The warmth of lingering food and wine, the gentle murmur of conversation, the attentive movements of servants, and the flickering lamps created a serene cocoon. Every sense, every gesture, every heartbeat contributed to the quiet meditation of the Roman evening. And as the lamps dimmed slowly, casting long, soft shadows that folded into corners and cushions, the room exhaled. The diners leaned back, eyes softened, breaths deepened, and the gentle pulse of the night carried them fully into stillness. Here, in the amber glow of fading lamps, the magic of a Roman night held sway, a timeless embrace of calm, comfort, and dreamlike serenity. The triclinium lay in hushed serenity, a golden cocoon of flickering light, lingering aromas, and softened voices. The lamps, now low and languid, cast a mellow glow that stretched shadows long and thin across cushions, walls, and marble floors. Every movement was slow, every breath measured, as if the room itself were holding its collective heartbeat in quiet anticipation of night's complete embrace. The diners reclined deeply into pillows, bodies heavy with warmth and contentment. Eyes were half closed, gazes soft, drifting slowly over flickering shadows or the polished surfaces of bronze cups. Conversation had almost completely faded, leaving only soft murmurs, quiet laughter, and the gentle rhythm of fingers tracing the rims of cups or the folds of cushions. Each sound, each motion, was an echo in the tranquil symphony of the night. Servants moved carefully through the room, collecting the last of the empty vessels, smoothing linen, and adjusting cushions for comfort. Their movements were silent and deliberate, blending into the quiet pulse of the space, almost invisible yet essential to the continued calm. Even the faintest clink of bronze on marble became part of the meditative rhythm, a soft punctuation in the gentle unfolding of time. Outside, the courtyard whispered in harmony with the triclinium. Leaves stirred faintly in the night breeze, the fountain murmured steadily, and the scent of jasmine drifted inward, soft and unassuming. The natural world seemed to acknowledge the final moments of the Roman evening, its steady cadence a companion to the warm, golden light and quiet gestures inside. Hands rested lightly on pillows, cups were lifted slowly for the last sips, and shadows leaned gently against walls, fading into corners as the lamp's flames grew smaller. Each gesture, though simple, carried the weight of mindful presence, anchoring the diners in calm awareness. Every movement, every whisper, every flicker of light contributed to the profound stillness that had settled over the triclinium. In these final moments, time felt suspended. The warmth of the room, the richness of the evening's flavors, the gentle interplay of shadow and flame, and the soft murmur of companions all merged into a singular sensation of serene completeness. The magic of the night, woven from light, scent, sound, and touch, enveloped every occupant, carrying them gently toward rest. And as the lamps dimmed almost entirely, leaving only faint glimmers and the soft murmur of the courtyard, the triclinium exhaled one last, deep sigh. In this intimate, golden hush, the final moments of the Roman night settled fully over all, a timeless meditation of calm, presence, and dreamlike serenity, ready to drift seamlessly into the quiet embrace of sleep. The triclinium had settled into profound stillness. The lamps, now mere flickers of amber, cast the last trembling shadows across walls, cushions, and bronze vessels. Time seemed to pause, each moment lingering longer than the one before, as though the night itself had slowed to inhale, holding its breath in quiet anticipation of the coming hours. Diners lay back fully into the softness of their pillows, bodies heavy with the weight of warmth, contentment, and the subtle drowsiness of a gentle evening. Eyes were half closed, gazes drifting lazily over dancing shadows, over the polished sheen of cups, over the quiet movements of companions. Even the faintest sigh, the slow tilt of a cup, or the delicate brush of fingers across cushions became part of the hush that held the room. Servants moved as though they were part of the very air, silent and deliberate. A bowl was collected, a cushion smoothed, a cup tilted for the last sip of wine. Each gesture was slow and precise, integrated into the calm rhythm of the space, imperceptible yet essential. Their quiet diligence maintained the seamless harmony, allowing the diners to remain immersed in the deep serenity that enveloped them. Outside, the courtyard seemed suspended with the room. Leaves barely stirred in the soft night breeze, the fountain gurgled its steady, hypnotic murmur, and the faint fragrance of jasmine floated inward, mingling with the warmth and lingering aromas of the evening. Inside and out, the world breathed as one, unified in the gentle cadence of stillness and reflection. Every movement inside the triclinium was tender, intentional, and unhurried. Cups lifted and lowered with care, fingers traced faint patterns on bowls, shoulders shifted slightly against cushions, and eyes followed the lingering flicker of shadows. The interplay of motion, sound, scent, and light became a meditation, a delicate ritual of awareness that required no words, no urgency, only presence. In the hushed embrace of the evening, the night seemed to hold its breath, capturing all moments in golden calm. The warmth of food, the sweetness of wine, the gentle flicker of lamps, and the soft shadows that danced across the room combined into a seamless tapestry of serenity. Each sense, each gesture, each breath contributed to the perfect stillness, carrying diners deeper into the embrace of sleep yet to come. And so, as the night held its breath, the triclinium became a sanctuary suspended in time, a gentle sanctuary where Roman evenings faded softly into the quiet promise of rest, dreams, and endless, unhurried calm. The triclinium had settled into a profound hush, the last whispers of the night lingering like soft echoes. The lamps, now little more than dying glimmers, cast faint amber traces on cushions and walls, stretching shadows thin and delicate. Outside, the first hints of dawn brushed the horizon, a pale, gentle light that promised the slow arrival of a new day without disturbing the sacred calm of the night. Diners reclined fully, bodies sinking into pillows, heavy with warmth, contentment, and the lingering sweetness of fruit and honeyed wine. Eyes were closed more often than open, occasionally drifting to the faint, golden shadows that moved lazily with the dim lamplight. Breaths deepened, slow and rhythmic, each inhale and exhale carrying the tranquility of hours spent in quiet reflection and shared presence. Servants moved as softly as whispers, finishing their gentle work. Trays were collected, cushions adjusted one last time, and the faintest shuffle of linen or clink of bronze was barely audible. Each motion harmonized with the subdued murmur of the room, as though the villa itself conspired to preserve the evening's serenity for as long as possible. Outside, the courtyard mirrored the stillness inside. Leaves stirred gently in the cool morning breeze, the fountain murmured steadily, and the faint scent of jasmine drifted inward, mingling with the fading aroma of figs, olives, and wine. The first touch of dawn softened the night, bathing the villa in pale light that promised awakening while honoring the quiet intimacy that had carried the hours. Even the shadows seemed to pause, stretching one last time across walls and cushions, folding slowly as though reluctant to leave. Hands rested lightly on pillows, cups and bowls empty but full of memory, and bodies were heavy with the unhurried rhythm of a night spent in mindful presence. Each subtle movement, each breath, each sigh was absorbed into the golden hush of the triclinium, leaving the diners suspended in timeless calm. And as the dawn crept closer, the villa held its breath one final time. The flickering lamps died completely, leaving only the soft, pale light of morning and the gentle murmur of the courtyard. The triclinium exhaled, and the Roman evening, in all its warmth, shadows, light, whispers, and lingering flavors, settled fully into memory. Here, in the final, quiet moments before day fully awakened, the magic of the night lingered, a golden, serene embrace that carried the diners gently into rest, dreams, and the calm promise of another tranquil day to come.